One of the profound truths I've learned, which is often difficult to even wrap my head around, is that if you show up to one of our front doors, you had no one else in the world to call. No one else in the world to say, I'm in a tight spot, can I sleep on your couch? No one to say, we're short this month, can I have dinner at your house? Beyond lack of food or housing, I want you to consider what that means. Quite often it means you had no one to talk to when you were having a really bad day. You had no one to help you when you fell down. You had no one to give you that key piece of advice when that life logistic went the wrong direction. You had no one to tell you that no matter what you have done, no matter what you're struggling with, that you are a person of value and dearly loved. When you're a single mom and you have the weight of the world on your shoulders and the kids are bouncing off the walls and it feels like everything is caving in on you, you had no one to say, can I lend you a hand, Mom? Quite often it means that that person who's supposed to protect you or love you did the opposite and provided pain, trauma, and abuse. One of the other truths that we have learned at the Fresno Mission is that we do not have a homeless crisis. We have a poverty crisis, a trauma crisis, an addiction crisis, an abuse crisis, I'm a single mom with 5 kids, one of whom is autistic and I cannot keep it all together crisis. We have I have been trafficked since I was 15 years old crisis. We have my dad introduced me to meth at the age of 12 and I've been hooked on it ever since crisis. We have I didn't choose this life crisis. When someone is facing crisis, we believe that the single most important thing that you can do to provide a pathway out is a relationship. So we decided we had to lean into these truths, and we started with a few simple questions. What does the infrastructure for a relationship look like? How do you respond when someone's crisis is usually never about one thing? If you had to build a property to reflect the gospel in someone's time of crisis, what would it look like? The city of Fresno is 17.48 miles from east to west and 16.44 miles from north to south. Where those two distances intersect is where we're designing our answer at a place that we know as the City Center. City Center is a 9-acre campus that will include over 170,000 square feet of buildings that will serve as a one-stop shop location to provide people a pathway out of crisis through a single front door. City Center, however, will not be home to just the Fresno Mission, but will instead be a shared campus bringing together more than 20 different organizations or ministries, all focused on meeting people's emergency needs, providing a pathway out of crisis, and most importantly, operating under a relationship-driven model. Some of the features of City Center will include our free choice market, led by the Central California Food Bank, a charter school which caters to homeless and foster youth, led by Aspen Charter School, the Resiliency Center, focused on providing mental health services to people experiencing trauma, led by the Fresno Police Chaplaincy, a 10,000 square foot dining facility that will rival any restaurant, a childcare center so moms and dads have a place where their kids can play while they get the help that they need, a 7,500 square foot family healthcare clinic led by one of the largest healthcare providers in the nation, a barber shop, one of the largest community playgrounds in Fresno, a recreational center for sports and events, multiple co-working office spaces capable of hosting more than 20 different organizations, all who have the same passion as us, but who do different things and want to work together. City Center will also feature emergency housing with a specific focus on families. But instead of building a shelter, we're building something on par with the Marriott, with rooms capable of serving families as large as 10 that are based on a relationship-first driven model. But one of the most important features of City Center, and why we believe it'll be so different than anything that currently exists, is its focus on dignity. It's why when somebody finds themselves in their darkest moment, with the world crashing down on them, they will not walk into a waiting room or triage area. They won't walk into an office and be asked to take a number. They'll walk into a heartbeat, greeted with a gourmet cup of coffee in a 10,000 square foot area that aesthetically rivals any coffee shop, restaurant, tech office, or community space in Fresno that will have more than 20 different organizations right there to answer in their time of need. It's why we believe City Center will be the most remarkable front door for someone experiencing crisis in the entire country. It will be a full campus environment that simply isn't the nicest campus for a homeless person or abused person or hungry person, but a campus that aesthetically will rival any property in Fresno or Clovis. You can call it cool, you can call it beautiful, you can call it many different things. We just call it a reflection of Jesus. Because after all, homelessness is not at the center of Fresno. Poverty is not at the center of Fresno. Hunger is not at the center of Fresno. Hope is at the center of Fresno. Compassion is at the center of Fresno. Goodness is at the center of Fresno. And God surely will be at the center of Fresno. City Center, coming in late 2022, brought to you by the Fresno Mission and a lot of other great organizations.